at that point I was just I was more than desperate. I didn't know what to do. I knew I could sleep in my car. I mean, it was summertime. It wouldn't have been the worst situation, but honestly, it wouldn't have been the first time that it happened. I've been homeless more than once with my children, and the main cause of it has been because I don't have childcare. Childcare has been such a huge problem for me, for my family, and on top of the fact that I'm a single parent and I don't receive any type of child support, and I've had to earn every dollar, to support them myself, has made it even harder when you can't work and you don't have childcare and you don't have family. I mean, most of my family is out of state, so I have very few people here in California that I can call for help and say, hey, can you babysit for me on such and such day so I can make it work. The depressing part, and the more I've lived on, on the streets, so to speak, and or been in a lower class situation and seen more lower class people, especially women and children, I've noticed there is an overwhelming amount of that. And I did research on it, and I can't remember the exact stats on it, but it's overwhelming. I mean, the majority of people living on the streets are children. They're not adults like, me and you, they're kids. And they don't have enough of these places to take care of these children, and they're living on the streets, and the government's cutting down benefits. And so now they're relying on organizations like you guys to help them out, and you guys can only help so many people out because there's such an overwhelming number of them, And you don't want, your whole childhood paints the picture for how you're going to feel about things when you're an adult. And I mean, definitely being humble isn't a bad thing, but being anxiety stricken and always fearing that you're not going to have enough to survive on is not a good feeling. So by all means, no children should have to deal with that. I didn't know what I would have done as far as for finding some sort of stable place for them. I mean, I was in a lot of desperacy, but I knew, short term, I'm a resourceful person. I could have I had my tent, and I had food in my car, and I had a little tent in there, and some sleeping bags and a pillow, and we made okay. It's just.
Did you ever think that your life would turn out like this?
No, not at all. I'm still, you can't go back to high school and all of that, but I was a musician. I was a flutist. I had my school counselor setting me up for a program because I wanted to be a doctor, to go on a music scholarship. And I was working full-time. I was in high school full-time. I was in college part-time, all at once. And actually, started off using drugs that way, and that's where it just totally destroyed my life. Then, as soon as I found out I was pregnant with my first child, cleaned my life up, and things were well, but then I chose the wrong people to have children with, and they were either, for whatever reason, not ready themselves, or physically and mentally abusive, and then found I had to be on my own and how to figure it out on my own, which was not easy. And I didn't think it would be that way. I'm huge on education. I would go to school for the rest of my life if I could. I love learning things. I love science. I love math. I love music. I want my kids to learn as much as they possibly can and have good educations, and that's the most important thing for me to pass and instill on them.